Say it again.
First, I want to ask who attended the keynote, full keynote part about the cloud? Okay. So now it will be much more relaxed session. Okay, we will have more intimate discussion about this. This session will be presented by Muhammad Salam and myself. We're both from Fit Lifestyle. So okay, let's start. Okay, first let me ask you honestly. I mean, out of the keynote. ولا بالعكس؟ في محلات Okay, let me ask you, who from the keynote did understand actually the basic idea about the cloud? Okay. No, because what I showed was the demo, but there is a lot of theory that we missed. So let's start. What is cloud computing actually? So basically, cloud computing is about, put it plain and simple, moving your hosting environment to Microsoft. Okay. So taking out the burden of hosting your applications and hosting it into Microsoft data centers instead of hosting it at your place. Now there's more to this, like for example, .NET services, service bus, what used to call .NET service, now it's called service bus, or like the access control, or like live services. We will discuss all these throughout the session. But in its most basic form, cloud computing is about you have an application, you want to host it, you don't want to manage your data center, you don't want to manage the infrastructure, you don't want to change it time over time. So you move it and host it into Microsoft data centers. Now where are these data centers? They are everywhere. Okay, so basically the vision is so that Microsoft will build huge data centers. I'm talking about multi-billion dollars worth data centers. They will build these data centers to everywhere. So for example, one data center will be here in Saudi Arabia. And from there on, what you can do is that you build your application, just like I showed you in the demo. And instead of hosting it to your organization, you offload that hosting burden into Microsoft's data centers.
You have to pay for this? You have to pay for this?
You think it's free? Microsoft, if they can, they will make you pay for IA8. So for sure they will.
That means anyone cannot use the storage for free for
So
function outside.
mostly would be targeting corporate sector.
No, if you think about it, it will reduce cost, not increase cost. Because let me tell you, if you have an application, let's say mid to large application. I'm not talking about small applications, one, two services. Okay? If you have mid and large scale applications, how much does it cost to manage, first to purchase the servers, to manage them, to get administrator staff to manage these servers, and over time to upgrade them? It will cost you more. Now, I don't know the exact pricing, right? But what I can be sure of is that offloading this hosting to Microsoft data centers will reduce cost. Now, cost is not the issue. Cost is an advantage, not disadvantage. Now, what I will expect during this session from one of you to ask.
Security.
No.
Security.
Security. Okay.
Yeah,
So
let's write this.
So we will discuss security. I mean, very basic question. How should I trust Microsoft about my data? Because your data will be at Microsoft place, not at your place.
If we can trust Google, we can trust Microsoft.
So we'll discuss this.
Yeah, maybe I would, I would end up on ease of use, because if we own the, if we own the thing, that is means it would be, easier to use. So how easier it would be if I would host this under Microsoft?
So let me just give one answer about the security issue. And it's actually not my answer. I got it from the PDC session, so I'm cheating here. So the guy said that when online banking first came, nobody thought they would trust online banking. So people had money, cash money. Worst case scenario, they deposit their money in the banks, right? But when online banking first came, I mean, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, everybody thought, no way, I'm not gonna, start paying online and pass my credit number online. Just during time, I mean, with time, people trusted this kind of transactions. And online banking now is famous. So they bet that the same thing will happen with the cloud computing. First, you will say, no, I will not host my data into Microsoft data centers. I mean, a couple of years from now, when the idea gets more mature, people will get along with the idea and will start hosting their data into
This is
Microsoft.
an excellent
Important
example.
question here. يعني this service for whom is oriented? For the client or the vendors?
It's for the client.
For the client. يعني
At the end, you will have your application
Okay.
hosted for the clients as if you're hosting it yourself. Okay?
It can be having like standalone application, or it will be a web application only.
Okay, I mean, exactly. For these questions, I know you have hundreds of questions. We will pass through many phases into this presentation. We will discuss theory, we will show you multiple demos. So just keep your questions. And if by the end of the session you find that your question is not answered or not discussed, we will discuss this. Okay? So just little, one screen here is about, actually I discussed this already, how the computing is evolving. Now you all know the client-server application. You know the web application, you know the service-oriented architecture application. You know what is SOA, right? It's the most buzzword currently in the programming environment, let's say. So it's service-oriented architecture. So now we are using service-oriented architecture. Cloud is the next wave. Okay, so the next wave is to take your application and host it into the cloud. So basically the same ideas here. So you have on-premises servers. Okay, that's servers on your organization. So you work in a company, and you have your own servers. The next idea is that you offload the burden to hosted servers. For example, you go to a hosting company, for example, Peer One, if you heard about it. You go to these hosting companies, and you say, I want you to host my application. Okay, you have offloaded the hosting from your organization, but you still have to manage it. Because all they do is that they host the application, but you still have to plan for the infrastructure. You still have to plan for the growth. Okay, so if you want to scale up, it's still your responsibility, not theirs. So the next way is the cloud computing. Okay, so I think next, that's one arrow. I've said all this. So now I will hand over to Muhammad. Now I have discussed cloud computing in general. He will apply the concepts of cloud computing into the Windows Azure, and he will explain what is Windows Azure in detail, and then he will show you a demo about it. It will be a demo similar to the one I showed you, but it will be a new demo with more features. So as I promised you in the keynote, we will discuss more detailed information. Okay?
So let me first clarify that cloud computing is not a Microsoft buzzword. It actually, do you know which was the first company to introduce an actual Amazon? Amazon, yes, right. We should give you something. So Amazon, do you imagine that? Amazon, you know, Amazon is an online shop that started as a online book shop and grows up to serve everything. So, the needs of Amazon really demonstrate what can cloud computing offer. Imagine if you are running inside Amazon, we are the IT staff of Amazon. Amazon has like millions of customers all around the world, and each day the customers are growing. So they had to keep their infrastructure up to the level with their customers, so that they can satisfy their customers. So over time, they developed practices and best practices on how they can evolve their infrastructure. After a while, they said, so it's okay. Let's try to sell this knowledge. Let's try to sell this platform to other companies so that we can make money with it. So they sold what they developed over years of how to evolve their infrastructure, and this was the first cloud computing offering. It was like maybe 2 years So after that, Microsoft also introduced its cloud computing offering. About a year ago in the BDC, they announced the Azure platform. It's been in beta since this year, and it's going to be in production live at the starting of January. So basically, what is the Azure platform? It's called Windows Azure, and it's pricing, and Microsoft gave us very strange word, Windows Azure. Some people pronounce it Windows Azure, some pronounce it Windows Azure. So it's okay. Do you know what Azure means?
I think it's some area like Vista and
It's the word itself. So Azure or Azure means that it's
brilliant.
it's a color, blue sky, color of blue.
I think it's the Antarctic sky.
Maybe it's
mixed up origin.